Hello and welcome to Random Roleplay. I'm Deven of TRG Network and we're back with some more Rieba Planeswalkers. There's only so many creative ways I can say this episode's interesting, you should check it out. But this episode's interesting and you should check it out. And the reason mainly being is based on the cliffhanger I left you with last session. Because, well, we all know where that's going. But one of my favorite things of the campaign was to see it have to play out. Maybe this sounds a little evil on my part as a DM, but it felt nice finally being able to see my players not just scoff and brush things off. You know, it was nice to see one of my players be put in a position of genuine conflict, which is actually one of our older hints coming into fruition, so if you got a list or something of those, keep that out, because it's going to come into play this session. Speaking of hints for this session, I got one for you. One's a little bit more subtle, one you're going to need to identify the context of to really understand, because it is a quote, but it's not as straightforward as you may think. You could tell she responded to you like she knew you. I imagine your head went somewhere with that right away. I'm interested to see if it was the right place. But as always, y'all, I need to ask you to like and subscribe. Help us get to that milestone. You know how much we really could use that assistance. So please, throw some subs our way. But without further ado, on to the show. And so, we return to the City of Doors, Sigil, and the party in the form of Cassius the Tiefling, Arudim the Half-Orc, Naleek the Half-Elf, and Crantor the Gallataur. Last we left our party, they were holed up in the St. Cinnamon shop with their newfound allies. Getting familiar with the circumstances surrounding the Carrick situation, the group weighs out Arudim's curse before the drama club duo of Arudim and Naleek once again have an episode. With Naleek storming off, the majority of the group follows Cassius in an effort to calm Naleek down, and the situation is soon resolved. Returning to the tavern and bickering about having to all go to the market ward, the two parties set out to find Oriax, a demoted imp acting as an info broker. Using Cassius' Spectre as a pseudo-tout, the party maneuvers through some intense Sigilian weather before finally crashing in Go-Home Tavern for the evening. However, their day gets started early with a knock at the door and a rolled-up, worn-down piece of paper in front of it. So Cassius, Arudim, you stand ready at the door after you heard the knock. Cassius, you were just woken up by Arudim, as he was already awake due to him not really sleeping. With all caution, approached the door knock as it seemed way too odd to you all. And sure enough, you see what looks like a coastal contract sitting at your floor, and just out the corner of your eyes, you guys notice a little bit of movement, someone peering from behind the corner.
Given the fact that I can see in the dark very, very well.
Well, it is dawn, early dawn. I will say it is dimly lit. But regardless, yes, you can still see. They're not very much hiding. They're kind of just like halfway behind the corner of the hall, just like peering out with a shocked look on their face.
Or you.
And you'll realize it's the clerk, actually, the person who checked you in, which was not characterized last session. But yes, he's a little old dwarf. His name is Hector. He's just like,
Sorry, just gotta explain, please.
Is Arudim standing at the door with Cassius?
Yep.
Are you noticing this dwarf, or are you still in the room?
I mean, if Cassius is, addressing somebody, he'd, poke his head out, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, you definitely notice the dwarf, who's also kind of peering out from the corner behind. He's behind. He'll kind of mosey on out and down the hall towards you. He's kind of looking left and right at the doors. He's coming down. He said, I'm not sure what that paper means, but a mutated Tabaxi came in earlier, just a few minutes ago, asking about your rooms, and he asked which one had the tiefling, and I was not going to deliver that note to your door. This is what he wanted me to bring to you initially, but I denied on account of your privacy.
Question. Fucked up Tabaxi. Hands backwards?
Something like that, yeah.
Motherfucker actually showed up himself.
Yes, it was him who knocked on your door just now, and then he disappeared. He started walking to your room as if he knew where it was, even though I wouldn't tell him where it was.
Well, he can read your thoughts, don't worry about it.
Of course, I thought that was just the flares.
Have to address the one very important point. Mutated Tabaxi is a really good way to describe that, man. I've got to... You have earned yourself a good tip, lad. I like that. I'm going to hold on to that one.
Of course.
All right. He was asking for me.
I'd imagine that this is a offer for you. Sorry, but terrible way to phrase that. Threat.
Well, what he doesn't understand is, unlike you and Crantor, I know how to twist the leverage back. All right, let's see it.
You can be on your way now, thanks.
Certainly. And he kind of just goes moseying down the hall, a little unnerved, kind of looking around again like he's unsure of his surroundings now.
Arudim takes out his knife and starts scanning the room.
I should probably head back in. You stand near the door just in case, if he's got this thing trapped. All right. Cassius will walk to the back of the room and very slowly open it just in case it's going to explode.
I don't know if you open it and you see the sleek, glowing red writing. And of course the writing in proper text underneath the image. Do feel free to read it out loud, either in character or out of character, just out loud for the audience.
I will read it in my best. Backwards hands mutated tabaxi, as he shall now be known. Hello, Cassius. M3 says, fuck off. He insisted that I put that in here. I don't quite know why. However, that's not the intent of this contract. The contract is actually meant to test your mettle, how much you're willing to stick to your guns. So with that being said, let Kosel lay it out for you, because he knows how you like to play dumb. Kosel hears you can't be bought. Sign this contract within 1 hour, stating you will receive 1,000 Rieben gold, or Kosel has Isabel Gavgarian assassinated at her residence in Flethagos the Fourth Hell. Furthermore, Kosel will seal her soul to be used as a coin should you take the cynical route in hopes of pulling a cost with her. Kosel the Damning looks forward to your snarky retort, either your signing or your sororicide. Sincerely, Kosel the Damning. P.S. She's honestly not even worth 1,000, even with her upgrade. But I wanted to flatter you like you flatter me. Cheers! Hey, Arudim.
That was a pretty darn good impression.
That was solid.
Arudim.
Yeah?
Out of character, you're feeling the room getting very warm. Cassius isn't saying a whole lot.
I take it that it's a great offer.
And, of course, he's failed to account for one thing.
And that is?
Hostage isn't good when she's dead.
So are you saying that if they kill her, they won't have anything left to threaten you with, therefore, you will be a force to be reckoned with?
Arudim would... If you look at Cassius, you would notice his eyes are red.
Yeah, he pressed the sibling button.
If he knew half of what he pretends to, well, he wouldn't have even attempted it.
Cassius, I'd like to take this time to say, I care about you, I think you're a good combatant, but there's no reason for him to bluff about anything that he's doing right now. And last time I checked, none of us can bring back the dead, so if he kills your sister, she's gone. Like, gone. Especially if he makes her into a fucking soul coin. Now is not the time to get cocky. We need to think about an action plan. I agree you need to stick to your guns, because fuck him.
Yes, it is true that I'm angry. After all, I think you of all people would understand. But
No, threaten my entire family and race. Yeah, go ahead.
Fair point. Don't let this lead you to believe that it's clouding my judgment. A hostage is only good when it's alive. He would not have gone out of his way to find her with the intent of humiliating me if he didn't have something to gain from it. So the question is, what does he gain from this? Buying me?
He proves a point if you sign the contract.
And what good is that going to do to him if he's dead? After all, we do intend to kill him.
Yeah, we do. But again, with Crantor and me, he has our clan's basically at pistol point. With you, he only has one person. The only person that you care about left in the multiverse.
I'm hurt.
But not inaccurate. Anyway.
Not entirely. I mean, before we went to Avernus, that would have been true. But I quite think that I've grown to like you, and Crantor, and Naleek.
Right. I like you too, I guess. Anyway. Rejecting feelings in a moment.
What he doesn't realize is that I've literally run with bandits just to get information. I'm willing to get my hands dirty and soil my self-image for the purpose of accomplishing my goal. I've done it before.
We have an hour to respond to this. After an hour, he sends people to kill your sister and turn her into a novelty item. We don't have time to run and go ask our questions anymore. You either need to sign this contract now and stave him off for a bit, ask him to clarify some things, because this nowhere on this thing does it say that he will not kill her if you sign. It says, I'll give you 1,000 gold, or you don't sign and I kill her. We don't really have any bargaining chips anymore. We either find our question guy within an hour, or we go to him ASAP and kick his fucking ass.
Yeah.
Crantor.
Yeah, I do note that his room is probably like down the hall or something.
Arudim is going to run like fucking Usain Bolt.
Oh, please, give yourself some more credit than that.
Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog.
There you go.
We'll just say for brevity's sake, everyone knows their rooms. You guys are all pretty much in the same hall.
I'm just gonna knock on Crantor's door, be like, I hope you're decent, big guy, and just kicks open the door.
You'll see kind of Naleek chilling, looking out the window at the stormy storm and the lightning flashing in. That's kind of like brightening the room.
I want to imagine they'd be like splayed out and probably still be sleeping in if Naleek didn't wake him up. So just be
Hope you're decent, boys, and kicks open the door. We got it.
Naleek is not fully suited up, but he is definitely decent. For those of you questioning,
we got coastal problems.
When don't we?
Feeling.
No. I mean, like, we have an hour to respond, sort of problem.
Who? Oh no. Duh.
Cassius.
Again,
threatening to kill his sister and turn her into a soul coin within an hour unless he signs.
And Naleek kind of just stops, and then just hops off the bed and just starts throwing his armor on as quickly as possible.
Crantor will too. Just getting ready as soon as he can.
Arudim just leans against the frame of the door, checking his knife.
What would Cassius be doing at the time? In about the 10 minutes or so it would take for them to don their armor?
Very meticulously, very calmly, no longer feigning to be that low-class
He's not Cass.
urchin.
He's Cassius. Not Cass
He's
right now.
strapping his armor on, looking for his shirt, making sure that Lucy is very well fed.
Lucy was snacking up. She's a little hesitant to hop on you. Can sense the tension, but knows that it's not going to harm her. So she skitters up on you all the same. And it's ever so slightly comforting. But of course, the circumstances could not possibly be weighed down, little mouse getters. But it does make a difference.
Takes his brother's sword, grabs the pendant around his neck, and he just sits on the bed with his eyes closed, holding one in each hand.
Arudim just thinks to himself, I wonder if there was a past life where I had to deal with this fucker. Knowing me, and probably the other me's, probably.
Eventually the time will have passed. You have Crantor and Naleek will have finished suiting up, and they would have come into the room to see Cassius, I imagine. And the clunking and the noise in the hallway would definitely be enough to alert everybody else, such as Dantu, Tusk, and Nala and them.
The boys are back.
Grim is still sleeping in bed.
I imagine so. Tuscan's definitely up, just kind of chill meditating, and I imagine Dantu is probably up pretty bright and early too. The thunder isn't making it easy to sleep, unless you're Grim, or drunk.
Well, with that hangover, man.
It seems everyone's on the move, Dantu.
I might as well join them then. I'll just go into the main part of the inn and just need some water, quench my thirst.
Yes, you kind of need water, don't you?
It's essential, man.
You kind of squeeze your way out the door frame, and you'll notice down on the end of the hall, you'll see Crantor, Naleek, and Arudim kind of just squeezing into the one room. And you go the opposite direction towards the center of the inn, towards the lounge section, which, again, very homey. Wooden architecture. It's got some calm paintings and even photographs, although they just look like really good paintings from your perspective. Just heavily lining the walls.
Gotcha. Well, Dante's just going to take a seat at a place that looks like it could sit a lot of people. He's probably gonna walk up to the guy that, checked us all in and say, I'm gonna need a spot that a lot of people are gonna sit at. I mean, you saw my party last night.
Yes, I know. You have 5 of the 6 total rooms in here. There you go. The lounge is pretty much yours. The one other group staying here is pretty quiet. They've been in the room for 2 days now.
That's not suspicious at all, but thank you very much.
They're dead.
Dante's just gonna walk away and sit in the lounge, just relax,
Down
and yell out, "I need a water."
He's like, okay, and he brings you a small cup of water.
Dante just stares at it. What is this?
A beverage.
This is the only cup you had? Do you see me? Do you know what I am? A giant, massive turtle. And I ask for water. Could you please get me a reasonable cup?
All right. And he kind of just looks a little dejected, like, and he looks around this lounge, which is actually pretty small in comparison to a lot of the places you've been in here in Sigil, and he's like, okay. Like, he almost seems a little lost on what to do.
You tell me you don't have a bug in this place? Just don't even worry about it, it's fine. I'm just gonna sit here and think about how you don't have a mug in this whole entire place.
Because it's not a tavern, it's just an inn.
He's just sitting there mad at a simple thing like not having a mug.
Eventually the guy comes back and he's got like a salad bowl, like a wooden salad bowl, and it's full of water. He's like, how does this do for you?
Just leave it on the table.
Lowers it to the wooden table and just kind of skitters back. Is this old, very nervous dwarf.
Dante's just gonna sit there, his fists in his head, and just staring at the water like, wow, I can't believe this.
Eventually, Grim's gonna hear a few times. Grim! Dustin's gonna be calling out to him, kind of give him a little nudge.
10 more minutes. The world's not ending right now. It's gonna be okay, Tuscan?
Yes, it is gonna be okay, but it seems like everyone's getting ready. Maybe you should too.
Or when everybody gets ready to go, just yell at me, I'll get up.
Certainly. Dustin just skitters up, hops up to open the door, and closes it again.
The minute you do, Arudim just was reaching for the door.
I imagine the door flame just kind of like papped into your hand as you were reaching for it. Oh!
Yeah, it just goes, whoop.
Sorry about that. Hello, Arudim. Good morning.
Yeah, we got a crisis. We need all hands on deck.
Oh, you hear that, Grim? Crisis! All hands, deck!
Crisis back. Okay, gotcha. I'll be there in 2 minutes. T-.
Which side of the building is the deck?
Not right now, Tuscan. Not at this very moment. Not this
I'm
early.
just seeing how awake you are.
Arudim walks away.
You can tell he was just messing with Grim. Grim's like half
begrudgingly
asleep.
gets up and just gets everything on him and gets going out, I guess.
Yeah, while you're getting suited up, Tuscan's kind of walking up. So what is the crisis? He's kind of like squeezes by the side of Crantor, which barely fits in this hallway. He's kind of trying to peer in the room and sees Cassius.
Just gestures to Cassius.
He's Cassius looming. Oh dear. Is that a devil's contract?
Cassius is sitting very, very still. Still same one hand on his sword, the other hand on his pendant. He has not moved.
Tuscan sits there for a good long second, just waiting out the silence to see if Cassius was actually going to respond. Getting the impression he is, and he just kind of slips out again. You know, like it's not his place for this moment. And it slips out and peeks up to Arudim. Okay, so, to fill me in a little, it seems he's got a contract.
The only other person he cares about is his sister. We've been trying to find a way for him to rescue her. Long story short, Coastal knows where she is going to have her assassinated and turned her into a soul coin if Cassius does not sign the contract within an hour. So yeah, that's pretty heavy.
Tuscan was just starting to open his mouth, like once you mentioned his sister and stuff, and then it was like almost like an oh yeah expression, and then he just kind of like expression dies on his face and goes, I see the dilemma. How prideful is your friend Cassius?
Arudim just gives him a look.
Burns walking by. Tuscan, you need to figure out how to say things, because even that came off a little funky to me. And he walks towards where Dantu is in the lobby.
Sure. Just kind of dismisses it. And he looks back over to Arudim and Crantor and says, so how do you feel he should react? You know him better than I. Or my
We have two options. He signs the contract and buys us some time, or we don't sign the contract and we fucking book it to kick Coastal's ass before he can do anything. I don't really see any other options here, so if you have better ideas, please say something.
Honestly, it's
Well, when Coastal gave me my contract, there was an allowance for changes to be made for negotiation. Does this one have the same provision?
It didn't look like it.
damning as it may sound, he needs to swallow his pride and sign the contract. Play this individual's game, because, well...
My worry is, what is he agreeing to?
What's the contract say?
He gets 1,000 Arabian gold, but I just don't trust it. What does Coastal gain from proving this point? What does he get?
He gets to feel like he has power over Cassius. That's all it is.
That does sound like the play here. If this Coastal is...
I didn't expect Coastal to be so petty, but I should have expected it.
All this is a battle of ego. Who has the stronger one and who is willing to budge?
Well, that's not fair. We're not even... That's not even fair.
1 second. The ladies have not joined us yet. And Tuscan kind of moseys down the hall and gives a light knock on the door in the distance. You'll see eventually, the door will open up. See Nala with even messier hair than normal. You can't really hear the conversation, but you can definitely tell that Tuscan is telling her what the situation is. Door slams right in his face. Tuscan moseys over. They'll be out in a moment. But I see Selva. She currently has, I want to say, control over a bone devil, but it's more so of a magical binding. She's cast a spell on a bone devil that actually worked for Carrick when we encountered them in the Ion Temple that we. Oh, and he kind of just gasps and like stops for a second and starts looking around the hall. I think we're okay. We've said it a few times before. Yes, the temple of the knowledge deity that we were in the Shadow Dark. She actually used this spell. I cannot remember the name of it, but it essentially binds a creature to her allegiance for a certain amount of time, depending on the spell level she used. And it's essentially sitting on Rieba, awaiting our return. So she has some familiarity with, I suppose, spiritual allegiance with devils. If that makes sense.
Interesting.
But
I mean,
not in the way that would be
expertise would help.
I will say this, the only time she's aligned with devils is when she was the one in control, which admittedly is a little alarming in some ways, because she's always been such a soft soul, but she also has a strong determination to do what needs to be done, so perhaps her resolve's stronger than I realized. And just kind of shrugs nervously.
Honestly, all of us have a bit of a strong resolve here. We're all stubborn and prideful.
Alright, what's the thing? And you see Nala opening the door, strolling out as her hair is a little bit more
We have less
fluffed.
than an hour to respond to an infernal contract sent to Cassius, threatening to kill his sister in hell and put her in a soul coin.
Gotcha. Detect magic. She flicks her finger up, and she goes, is the big guy holding it?
I don't know, is he?
No, I think Arudim would be holding it, if anyone.
No, Cassius is holding his. But she's asking, in character, is the big guy holding it?
No.
He has one, but no.
Oh. That's divination magic.
God
Oh,
damn,
yep, there's the
Crantor.
other. She's kind of moves forward. Oh, yep, there's the other one. She kind of peers over the horizon that is Crantor's rump to see Cassius moping on the bed.
The beautiful vista!
That ass.
She's only like 5'3". Cut her some slack. Yeah, she's peering over. Okay, so, you guys know what divination magic does?
Letting you see things that are either about to happen or in other places.
Something like that. Tracking. Kind of tracking. They're kind of, they can be used as a form of tracking, a form of spying, a form of scrying.
Ah, looks at Crantor. Looks at Crantor motherfuckerly.
Crantor blushes and looks ashamed.
Like, god damn it, Crantor. He's not mad, he's just disappointed.
Crantor just shrugs, like, what do you want me to do?
Tuscan.
So then you haven't signed your contract either?
No, I have signed mine, and I did not have much of a choice.
Understandable, but if that's the case, if you signed yours, you're still keeping yours on? Have you not fulfilled your end?
Not at this time yet. We have had other concerns, and there is no time limit on mine.
Well, then there's no time limit on how much he can spy on you guys and see every little thing you say. Nala says very irritatedly. Oh my god. And isn't this guy connected to the other guy? She looks down at Tuscan. Didn't we come here to not be found by the other guy? She's like getting down in his face. I mean, yeah, they found us earlier with the devils, but now it kind of makes sense. Oh my god. And Nala just throws her arms up in disgust and walks past Selva down the hall towards the lounge area. Selva's like, well, perhaps we can take a look at these contracts and see if there is any way we can work them to our advantage.
Crantor just looks, his mouth's.
You see Selva kind of look at up to
Arudim
you.
in his head is just going, I fucking knew it!
Clamps his hand over Artem's mouth.
Well, in the meantime, hello, Kosel. Hello, Carrick. You see Selva kind of just lean down towards Crantor's bag and just kind of says that. Might as well be
The Crantor
polite.
fanny pack.
The Crantor fanny pack, I was gonna say it.
We might as well be cordial about it. Selva says, kind of just like expressionless.
Arudim looks fucking pissed.
And
she says cordial, and he just like there's a blood vessel on his forehead.
And I just want to clarify that this is probably making a lot of sense. For example, even to Cassius, whom in this very contract that he received from Kosel specifies, I hear you can't be bought. Episode 17, when you all were sitting around in your lounge with Deus, when speaking of the contracts with Okiro, Cassius says, but I can't be bought. Other things that you guys have said that would have only been heard in your vicinity. It all makes sense. That contract has been what's been watching you.
I see.
Arudim just fucking glares at Crantor.
There's no response. He's just looking down at the floor.
Well, have you already tried looking into the wording of the contracts? What language was it written in, for example?
Looked like he was dazed and just said, here, you can view it yourself. Just hand it over.
Ah, I see. Very good penwork.
Don't compliment him.
Apologies. So soullessly. She's just gonna read it. Son of the Stormbreaker, Avenger of the the Mythos Plains of Mindafal?
That's correct.
I
Those are
wanted
my
to visit
tribe
there.
of Gallataur.
Yes, there is a tribe of Gallataur in my own plains. They are very small, they are very select, but they have been wandering the realm for some time, they claimed. I myself have not met them. I wouldn't say my elders, but the previous generation of my people did. It seems that they migrate around areas that Centaur may reside in, and my plains are one of them. But yes, speaking...
We should talk more about that later.
Yes. I hear there are also Centaur in the mythos as well.
Gets a dirty look on his face at the gross centaurs.
Ewy. And then she looks at And to be fair, you've only seen the jock douchebag horse centaur. You have not seen deer centaur like her before.
Yes, the Servine ones.
Or asinine ones, for that matter. But you haven't been up mountains.
Well, they're all kind of asinine.
Hi there, my name's Eloy.
Oh my god. I miss Eloy. I miss him. Why'd you do that to me? Okay. But yeah, she continues
It's a
reading.
knife in all our hearts.
Going to Oh, you have... This is actually rather convenient. We will be plunging into the Hells soon. You could take care of this task along the way, and then he will not be able to see us beyond that point. Unless we make the decision to leave the Hells from then on and return the fresh starts. That may not be a bad idea either. And you see she's talking about this plan 7 steps ahead. You're not entirely sure what she's even really talking about. And Tuscan's kind of just he's putting fingers up and then he's squinting, turning his head slightly, and then starts thinking about what she's saying. You definitely tell there's more being referenced than you realize. But you do remember last session, specifically yesterday in St. Cinnamon's shop, how she asked Arudim and Cassius to join her on the trip through hell.
Right.
Luke. And yes, as she continues to read through, she'll look. I see. In your contract, you provides much more negotiable terms, whereas in the other one you're claiming that does not seem to be that way. It seems to be much more black and white.
I guess I was the lucky one.
There's definitely different intentions. Here it almost seems like he's trying to show you that you can somehow trust him, which does not seem convincing at all.
Grinder just shakes his head.
Well, with this being the case, I need to see the other contracts to see how things would play out. And she, pardon me? And then she kind of trots over and she realizes she cannot squeeze by you at all. So she kind of like...
He'll adjust as much as he can.
No, she kind of like turns around and walks to the end of the hall because you are about as wide as the hall. So to get past you into that room, you have to not be in that hall.
I see.
This is the difficulty of being large creature, and you will remember it.
I know. Broke a fucking door in the bar.
Okay, you know, to be fair, if that's the worst over the course of the 2 campaigns this character's been in, consider yourself lucky.
Well, now that I can do stairs, yes, that is the worst.
But yes, you go through the trouble of scooting all the way back, and eventually you poke into the lounge where Nala, Grim, and Dantu are chilling, and Selva goes back and down to the hall.
Can I just say before before Crantor walked in there, just paint the picture. You literally see like Grimace trying his damnedest to not fall asleep at the table, like school style, having his arms folded, almost falling asleep into his arms, and Dantu is still staring at a bowl of water.
I imagine it's been silent this entire time until Selva and Crantor were finally back into the lounge through the hallway. And she just goes, yeah, that's a pretty neat bowl of water. Pretty nice.
Yeah, it sure is.
You ready to learn everything today?
Do I have a choice?
Probably. You've always had a choice. Because apparently everything's saying that it has to be one thing.
Big oof.
Selva leads down the hallway and into Cassius's room. And she'll be like, excuse me, Cassius, may I see your contract? Yeah, she's saying that kind of as she's walking into the room.
She would see Cassius standing there, but he's standing up straight. He's not cocked to one side or the other. He's got the contract rolled very neatly. Let us speak in the commons. My lady, after you.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
My apologies. Sometimes other cultures can not understand what I mean.
Yes,
Let us speak with everyone present. Let us head down to the common room and we can discuss things there.
Yes, the common room. She's still very much clueless. She's just doing her best to not seem openly clueless. I was just telling your friend, Crantor. And she looks up to Crantor. That I am from the plains in my region. I too am very unfamiliar with city life. So this plane is very unfamiliar to me.
Where I come from, we use the term commons to mean a communal place where we can all gather. That is a place for everybody.
That reminds me of the large rock.
Yes.
Crantor just nods sagely. Yes, the large rock is the best place. We had a large tree.
That must have been mythical.
Crantor would probably notice that Cassius does not sound like himself. At least not like the way he's used to hearing Cassius sound.
In fact,
He would.
I will say, roll an intelligence check really quick, Crantor. Just
Intelligence or insight?
Intelligence, just to see if you remember something. Yes, I understand it's not the best roll. That's what makes this interesting.
How's a 22 do you?
Wowzers! Good on you. Just straight intelligence?
Yeah.
Nice. 22
Takes
does you
another die.
fantastic. You immediately remember back to Avernus, the day you all approached Fort Knucklebone, when Naleek caught on to Cassius and Arudim seeming to be under the influence of the plane. You remember only then has Cassius behaved in the way he's behaving right now. But you know for a fact that there's no fiendish influence here.
Aside from the contracts.
Well, no fiendish influence on his personality.
You know, no more than there has always been.
Right. You know.
Grandma and everything.
But this time, it's all Cassius.
This time it's...
And this time you see how much it's all business.
Just like a mullet.
Oh. You fucking go out to the lounge. And just...
Cassius immediately approaches the bar. And
There is no bar.
where's the damn dwarf?
The dwarf is at the counter that kind of has a circular round counter in front of the 2 doors, and then behind it is the lounge area that you see Dantu, Nala, and Grim hanging out in.
And Cassius would approach and very politely, Master Innkeeper, would you happen to have a pen, a writing quill, some form of scribing tool?
Oh, absolutely. He grabs it. Here you go. Happy to help.
Thank you, my good man. And trust me, while I'm here, no harm will come to you. I will personally see to that.
And he's kind of
Cassius will walk over to the table. He'll set the contract down. Was it like a feather quill or something?
Yeah, it's a very old-fashioned homey place, so feather quill is exactly what they would have. Gave you a little ink bottle and everything.
I forgot to ask, does anyone have any paper? Parchment, anything should be fine.
I gotcha. And you see Naleek, he goes in and he pulls out some from his bag. Seems to be in pretty good shape, actually.
Arudim, we don't have much time left, but I've always trusted your guidance, and so I shall let you review this before we let the mutated tabaxi see it. And he'll just sit down and, in surprisingly good handwriting, because yes, I do have very good handwriting in real life.
Yes. So then, therefore, you're allowed to have it in Roleplay universe.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Yes,
you have to be able to do it in real life.
Well, then fuck me, my characters can't write worth a shit.
Tommy, quit fronting. We've seen you jump onto buildings plenty of times. I've seen you crack the ground. I've seen you slay hydras.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Quit fronting, Tommy.
God damn it, he's so cool.
He's so cruel!
But so dumb!
Oh, wait, he said it, not me, Tommy. Also, Tommy, in real life, has a plus 15 to his intimidation. True story, yeah. Totally. I'll tell you about that.
But Cassius would begin to write, and I will read it out loud if you would like.
Do feel free.
Okay. Cassius would write, I should thank you. You've answered many a question I've had for a long time. I will sign this contract, but know this. You've believed me to be who I am, a lowly tiefling thug, because I pinpointed your ability to read thoughts from the moment we met and weaponized it against you. I've built a reputation and a career out of dealing with veritable masterminds of various criminal organizations. You believe that you have the upper hand right now, but the truth couldn't be further. Let the veil be lifted and my facade dropped. Again, I will sign this contract, and by my good graces you shall be granted the ego boost you so seek. Should my sweet elder sibling come to any harm, by any hand, in any plane of existence, I shall hold you solely responsible. Should such a thing happen, each and every member of your organization shall be hunted to the last, as with every single body and soul that lies behind my blade, so too shall each of yours be added. Keep her safe until next we meet, Rakshasa. I have ways of dealing with people like you. Cassius Gafgarian, Hex Knight of Zarian.
Hell yeah.
He would write it, roll it up, hand it to Arudim.
Starts reading through it. The only problem I have with this is if we had a way to deal with him, why wouldn't we have done it by now? But honestly, other than that, I think this is great.
The only reason we didn't deal with him before is because he had a child we needed, and I have not seen him since. I have
That's
had
true.
more pressing things to deal with. But now he has made himself the sole and center target.
So, what's exactly the plan here, boys? And ladies, sorry.
That's fine, I can be one of the boys. I grew up in Temple Barracks. It's one of very
No
few
clue
ladies.
what's going on. I'm drifting in and out of consciousness, so sure, I'm down for whatever adventure you're down to go on.
I like him only because if he dies, he will have died with honor.
Oh, I won't die. I haven't become the greatest bard yet.
See, there you go, now you're waking up.
If you are truly the greatest bard, then how about writing a tale of how we all kicked Coastal the Damning's ass?
No problem. I'll write it as we go.
Perfect. Well, Truth Seeker will have to wait. Who's ready to kick cat ass?
Please.
Well, we just bought time with that so we can go to the all-knowing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that kind of the point? Like, Naleek's kind of jumping in after being quiet this whole time, and even if we do go to the all-knowing and find out more about Carrick, we'll know more about Coastal in the process, right? They're working together. And he's like very kind of like fidgety about this. He's really kind
Naleek,
of
buddy.
obsessive
Hey,
about it.
calm your tits. We're gonna
Just
figure this
stick-
out. We're gonna get all the info we can, and we're gonna get through this, okay?
And Crantor will just place a steadying hand on Maleek's shoulder.
We got you, dude. We got you.
Well,
To hell and back, literally.
exactly, and quite frankly, I think us fighting Coastal in a place like Sigil is one of the worst things we can do.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was talking about just storming his fortress or sneaking in, but yeah, I don't want to pick a fight here.
I mean, think about this, man. We're right here. You were even saying it yesterday. The answer is right in front of us. Okay, so I get your intentions, and maybe it's just because the contract wasn't to me, and he looks over to Cassius and kind of slows down.
I'm just getting itchy trigger fingers here. Let's go to the all-knowing as fast as we can, and we can all get some answers that we've been looking for. Maybe, if we play our cards right, one of us can get some info on how to completely fuck over Coastal.
I was so waiting for those keywords. You guys see the clerk turn around over the desk. You guys looking for somebody here in the city?
Yes, we are. Would you happen to know who we're looking for if we were to give you a description?
Not at all, but I do know someone who knows things. Gengo Farosh. Yeah. Hangs out a lot down at the Dark Side Tavern. A little close to the Void, but very cheap to find out what you need to know. And he knows about some very obscure, shady things here in the city, which is saying something. It's the Gauge. And you see he's almost completely changed tone. Like he was this sniveling, little scared innkeep, but now he's all like, heh, merchant.
Well then, thanks for the tip.
You look like you're not buying into it too much, but I'm telling you something. You're gonna get what you're looking for. And then he just kind of turns back over to the front.
Dante says, wait, can I get what I'm looking for when I ask for a mug? You're telling me you can buy things and get things. You can't even get a mug in this place.
Oh my god.
Dante's pissed. Dante's been pissed since he's been awake.
I fucking love Dante so much. He is the pettiest motherfucker, and I love it.
He's pissed.
You see in disgust the dwarf pull from underneath the counter. He's like, "You're fine!" And he's got a mug and just turns it upside down and slashes whatever is in it down to the ground. Slayers go, "There, you can have mine."
Well, so kind of you.
Well, this is a place for people. This is a place for some kit, not some.
Sorry, I'll find somewhere else to drink.
Cassius I believe he speaks. Does not, never mind.
What? What? You know, and I guess that makes sense. Just because you lived with a dwarf doesn't mean they teach it to you.
If he knows like key phrases like "you're fucking dead, kid."
Yeah, I suppose that's probably best. To be fair, yeah, Dante's gotten by on key phrases of gnomish before.
Artem's gonna look to everybody. Okay, cool. We've got a destination. We've got a person. Let's fucking roll.
There's one thing we need to do.
Cassius hasn't signed yet.
He takes out the original contract, flips it over, summons his pack weapon as a dagger, pricks his hand so that it begins to bleed, licks the feather pen, and again, in a very gorgeous scripture, writes the exact text again. And I will drop it all into the Roll20 chat so people viewing at home can follow along. And as he does, Cassius would read it out loud so that everybody would hear what Cassius has to say.
And upon finishing it with your signature, the paper flames up into non-existence and then into a slightly tethered coin purse with a little note on it. Not of the same paper, it's just like a little regular paper note that reads, and sure enough, the coins inside of it will be dirty and a bit rusty. It's a bit of soot visible on the bag as well.
Oh, Grandma's home cooking. I missed the lady. He'll look straight at Arudim. Remind me to call her as soon as we get back to Rieba.
Also, call her how?
Oh, I can contact her anytime I wish. Sometimes I have to stab myself to do it, but, you know, the wound always seals itself back up.
Oh yeah, that.
You've watched me do it.
Yeah, we have. So, is this where we're going? Are we going to the dark side? Kind of says questionably, is that's the innkeep. Distance kind of just nods. You can tell he's been listening. So are we? I'm asking you all. Alright. Or are we just gonna go fumble through the streets and we can find it ourselves? Or are we gonna go back to trying to find the imp? We came out this far, but we don't exactly have a guide anymore. Unless Cassius wants to off somebody, and I don't think that's necessary.
I mean, it is on the table. Drastic, but it is on the table. I say we hire another tout, take us to the dark side, get the info we need, and make our way to the all-knowing.
Right.
Sounds like a plan.
And in fact, I do believe a certain mutated tabaxi just paid for a tout.
That is if they accept Arabian money, but hey.
They've accepted it before.
Just saying, we never had an issue.
I mean, gold is gold, no matter where it's minted.
That's fair.
Yeah, and you gotta think about it. This is Sigil, the central hub of the multiverse. I feel like it would kind of be hard-pressed to not accept currency from elsewhere. But I get your concerns. I'm just saying, like, that. I feel like this is one of the few times where we can just assume. He nervously laughs.
By the way, lads, I've been having this idea. And he's going to say this as they, walk out the door looking for a tout.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's going to be like, hey, wait up. Just want to let you all know. You probably don't want to... There's some odd characters in the dark side. I want to say you probably just only want to have one or two of you going. It's mostly tieflings. It's very quiet in there. Really want to be discreet. But yeah, Genga Ferosh. He's got red horns. Very tall, quirky looking. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Red horns, quirky looking, kinda tall. Genga Ferosh.
Yes,
Keep that in mind.
I got you.
Alright.
Also, as we're walking out of the inn,
Yes.
Crantor will just look at the contract and just toss it into Don 2's unused mug with the water, just to get rid of it.
And Don 2 will pick up Grimwood since Grim fell asleep and prop him on his feet and kind of give him a little push on his back, like, time to go. I was hoping we could have just stayed a couple more hours.
Selva goes, Grim, would you like to hop on my back so you don't have to walk?
Oh, you are just a blessing from the heavens. You know that?
Thank you, that is rather flattering.
It doesn't put a ring on it, I guess I'll have to first.
Tuscan blushes.
And he jumps up on her.
Arudim just tries to wipe the
Connotations
sweat from his
of that.
brow.
So, should we just shout and see if one pops up and offers their services, or it's going to...
I mean, that's pretty much how it works, right?
Kind of, but to be fair, our group has had a total of only one tout who has not attacked us or set us up. And we found all our
Right.
touts like that.
That's mostly on me, though. I'll take the fault on that.
I feel very sorry for the tout who thinks it's a good idea to attack me right now.
You guys wandering out onto the streets, and immediately you see where all this thunder is coming from. You see lightning flashing and such, as the weather is quite intense. And Crantor, almost to distract you, you receive a voice in your head. A pleasant one.
I've made it safely to Outlands, it seems. To clear things up, I told you my faction's name was the Sign of One. That was...
And you recognize this as Okiro's voice immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, coming in.
a risky lie, testing the patience of the lady. I learned from my tout that the factions nowadays are not as taboo in Sigil,
And then another cut off momentarily.
as I thought. My faction's name is the Mind's Eye, a faction formed from the Sign of One and believers of the Source.
And it's just extremely random information thrown into your head from Okiro.
Okiro.
Almost out of nowhere.
So, can I respond to that, or?
Yes, you can respond to the most immediate.
Oh, okay. I can't get, 4 responses since you made a bunch? Okay. I see how it is.
I mean, that is kind of how it is, though. If you didn't
It's
immediately
not
respond
my fault
to the
that
first one,
I didn't get a chance!
she spammed you.
Right?
But yes, you do have the one response.
Well, 1 second.
Alrighty, and so we return back to you all exiting out into this very dangerous weather. The streets aren't looking very filled. You see a few odd characters out there. You'll see, you see a couple of dwarves, a couple of Genasi. You see a devil of some sort hanging out there. You see a Mind Flayer way down the way, kind of tucked off to the side, looking eerie. It's Sigil.
It do be like that.
It do be like that
Sigil,
sometimes.
baby.
I imagine you guys get wandering out in the street as lightning strikes nearby building. I can't imagine how you guys are personally reacting to it, but I can imagine that getting numb to it after a bit.
And as we're walking,
The only
Astro
reason
will-
Arudim is numb to it because he's on a mission right now.
What were you going to say, Astro?
I was just gonna say, as we were walking, Crantor would respond to Okiro and just say, "It's good that you did. We were being spied on by Coastal. He knows everything that we did and said. Divination, contract, beware, agents everywhere."
Oh, man. Yes, of course, you will immediately receive... Well, never mind. That was a response to her spell. Well, then,
It was.
barely 30 seconds will pass. A few booms of thunder. And she'll immediately respond. You are being spied on. And I feel horrible because I felt the need to cast Detect Magic, but I did not want any of your comrades to feel like I did not trust them. I apologize.
Stop trusting us!
We're idiots.
God damn it, you were the only brain cell!
Right? Literally the only one we have.
And you took it, damn it!
Damn.
He'll respond with, "It's not your fault. I'll be taking care of this very soon. In the meantime, I got rid of the contract. In the meantime, stay safe."
And that would have been that for that conversation. It's not right. Send a one-word sending, unfortunately.
Another one.
How many sending slots does she have? Jesus.
But Crantor,
Sending's like a second or third level spell,
it's a third level spell. Yeah, it's expensive.
and you can always upcast it, so if you want to, you could spend a whole day sending your friends.
I mean, when you really want to talk.
I did want to clarify something, Astro. When Crantor said that, he pats at his pack saying he got rid of the contract, but you still feel
Is
the
it still
heat.
there?
Yes.
He'll just take it out, chuck it as far as he can into the sky.
It goes flying and flying and flying, and the wind gusts it up into the air, and you see it, and roughly as it gets about a javelin's toss away, it right back in front of you.
All right, in that case, he'll pull out one of his javelins, toss it, attach it to it, and then toss it.
You'll throw the javelin. Okay, you throw the javelin.
Bad idea.
You're trying to throw it as far as you possibly can?
I'm not actually doing this. This is just for.
Oh, I
demonstrating.
honestly thought you were. Okay.
No.
Work.
He'll just sigh.
Work
and
me into a shoot, brother.
He'll just sigh and he'll cast something again to Okiro and just say, "Never mind, it's still here."
Oh, fun. Naturally, your signature was your spirit. You need to fulfill your contracts now.
Would killing him work to get rid of that, or do I have to actually
you
fulfill the
sending again?
contract now? Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, that was the third and final sending on that thing. I forgot the item's name already.
One of them was a response.
The first
So I've
sending
got
you.
one left. The first one I said the response to her.
Okay, we'll go with it.
I said this is the second one. I asked if killing him would release me.
Oh, absolutely. You are no longer bound to him then.
Response to. Probably gonna be that path then.
No, hers was a response.
Oh shit, that's right. Anyway, enough of me time.
But yes, you guys will be wandering through the street as this thunder is booming. And eventually the storms will kind of start to subside as you're kind of seeing people lining the roads, stuff. You'll actually see a little silver kobold. He's got some green garbs kind of draping over him, much too big for himself. He's walking out with like a very long sack slinged off on his side. He's holding up a big old sign, "Will tout for money."
Advy, I'm going to fucking kill you. My heart.
I rolled it! I have a chart of 100 creatures and I rolled a kobold.
My heart! The baby!
Just hat.
Look at that bean!
Figured almost like a green nightcap. It's kind of like falling over his eyes. Lily can adjust it and then holding the sign up, kind of just walking out. And even the thunder booms,
Okay,
kind of
fuck
jumps at
you.
it really quick, and then he looks around and then kind of just like skitters back over to the other side of the street and kind of just walking up and down against the buildings.
I like to think that Arudim has no tact as Arudim does. And the kid runs back to do something and he just bumps into Arudim.
Yeah, I imagine he got up to the side of the building, so he started moving forward, and then kind of tucked off in between two of the buildings was this dragonborn. And the dragon, get out of here, kid. He's kind of like shoos him off, and Kobold kind of skittering back the other way, and there you are, right next to him. And he just kind of stops silently, staring up at you. Like if you're going to do
Arudim
something, just do it.
Kind of plain faced, he just, you know your way around?
Hasty nod.
Cool. We need to get to, hey guys, I found a town! Where do we need to go again?
I imagine as Arudim turns around to yell this to you, you see the little silver kobold's head peer out from behind him. And then you see his arms with the sign peer out from behind him. And you see the little sign, "Will tout for money."
It's so cute, I can't stand it. My whole ass heart. Arudim might kidnap a motherfucker. Small bean, I will teach you to stab.
I imagine Nala's cynical ass. And this is how they get you. Remember the kids that pickpocketed you, Dante? Or tried to?
Dante's just gripping his fist and saying, "Just don't be all giddy like our kobold."
Please. Please.
You barely heard it.
Take it.
I love it because I rolled the 31 and got the kobold, and then I rolled a d10 to determine the color and got a 7, which was silver. It was, it's perfect. The silver and gold kobold.
Grim shouts and
Grim
points
just
at
goes-
the silver kobold and says, "It's Tuscan's long lost brother,
No.
Vince Tusk."
Oh.
Arudim just rubs the bridge of his nose.
And the kid's kind of like almost clinging to your leg, Arudim, as he's kind of just like walking up with you, very nervous. And you can tell now you're like you're
Immediately
close.
check to see if he's pickpocketing me.
Go ahead. You know what? You're you. No check needed. You'll know if a kid's trying to pull some shit.
perception of 23.
Yeah, and you can tell this kid is just very nervous. In between the storm and your humongous group of various individuals, we got everything from a kobold to a half-orc to a tiefling to a Gallataur. Like this, it's quite the variety.
Turtle to a genasi.
To
To a centaur and a mouse folk. It's just like something else. Actually, you see the kid kind of jump back a little when he sees Grim on top Selvus, and he's like, and then he points at it, and then notices that Grim looks rather well groomed. And he's kind of just like backs down again. Sorry.
What do I give off? Do I smell? What? Tell me, kid. I gotta know. I can't have the ladies having that same reaction.
Cranium rat. Oh yes, the cranium rats. It's a very common threat here in Sigulu. We ran into quite a few of them in the hive, but they paid us no mind because you looked like you, Doctor.
Arudim just looks like, I'm sorry, the cranium rats?
Yeah, Grim had the same expression. He's like, "Excuse me."
That's what one of the touts calls them.
Look, I'm no cranium rat. I'm a good guy. The worst thing that you can hear come out of me is maybe some bad music. But, besides that, don't worry about it.
Your music is lovely, Grim. Let no one tell you otherwise.
Cesar.
Thank you. Jesus.
You are planning to be the best.
That is correct.
I have yet to see better.
a
Alright,
lot
kid,
of
what's your
bugs.
name?
1 second, I seem to be lagging out. 1 second, I need to refresh my connection. Oh darn. I hate you, Discord, for doing this.
No, Advy, be honest. You hate me for asking his name.
No, his name's Vico. I was just getting my connection back. That's all. Totally wasn't pulling up a random name generator. No. I plan everything.
Just gotta be like, I'm checking my notes. 1 second. Where did that go? I know I have that somewhere.
No, that could have possibly been
Furious
convincing.
typing.
I needed to very much make it clear I did not prepare this tout.
I mean, you rolled for it.
Yeah,
So...
yes. Honestly, hadn't even considered that in the equation, but now I'm glad I did. Tuscan. Oh my god.
Electric Boogaloo.
But yes, Vico. Thanks.
Awesome. So, Vico, how does 5 platinum sound to you?
Oh, please, Arudim. After all, didn't we say that we would let our current monetary benefactor handle the payment of the tout?
How's 1,000 gold sound?
His eyes light up because he was just sitting there. You could see himself counting with his fingers in Draconic on how to converting platinum to gold in his mind, and then you said that, and his eyes just lit up, and you see he's got big old bright crystal blue eyes, almost shining off the silver of his scales. He looks very scuffed up, a little roughed up. You can tell he's probably been out in the streets, more or less. His eyes just light up.
Castor,
Yes.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for Arudim. This is a personal roll, because I don't know at this point how Arudim would even do this.
Well, what are you trying to do?
Arudim is legitimately considering kidnapping this child. And
Oh
raising
my
him.
god. Alright, then yeah, this is gonna
He
have to...
relates too much!
Gonna need to make me a wisdom check, actually.
A
Look, you were
wisdom
already
check.
mostly Batman. You don't need to go the full...
No, that's why I'm like, no, I'm bringing this into canon now. I know you were just doing this as a little fun character. No, let's see how influenced you you really are to do
Fair.
this.
Make
To
it
be
with
fair-
disadvantage.
If you
To
want...
be fair, for Arudim, a wisdom saving throw and a wisdom check are the same thing.
Yeah, they are. I'm not proficient.
Oh yeah, that's right, you're not high enough level in Rogue for that yet. Oh shit.
Nope, not
So-
yet.
So, 2
Yeah.
questions. You said with disadvantage or no?
I said with disadvantage because Arudim has a weak spot.
Fair enough, because it was gonna have a low DC, but if you want it to be disadvantage, let's go for it. Because I don't want to take this too much away from you.
Channel destiny through you because I think I already know what's gonna happen.
And I am pulling out, just for Arudim, my dark pewter metal d20s. They're the same color as his armor.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, those aren't bad. That would be, with your modifier, a 14 and a 21.
Oh, okay.
Bullshit.
Arudim, you are so tempted, because theoretically, you could probably give this kid a better life than he's living right now on the Sigil streets, but you know better than to just snatch someone out the life they are. And speaking of it being a kobold, you even thanked Tuscan next to you, who told you about how he essentially reincarnated into an infant kobold, and that kobold and their family didn't get to live their normal lives because of that. So it's like, maybe you would be interfering in a similar way, is the impression you get. Of course, you passing the save doesn't mean you're not going to do it, I'm just saying. This is the impression you get.
Now you're just cognizant of it.
He says nothing.
Are you trying to hide this?
He says nothing.
So 1,000 gold. Does that sound good to you, kid? So we can get a move on to where we gotta go.
Yeah. Wait. And you hear him kind of like in Draconic for a second started. Where do you? And then he goes to Common. Where do you guys need to go?
Cassius will walk up to him, hold the bag in front of his face. He'll take the tag, tear it off, and let it wash away in a puddle. Just kind of with his thumb, wipe a little bit of the soot off. There's 1,000 gold in his bag, kid. He'll open it, grab a handful of it, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about, let me roll a D100 real quick just to see how much he grabs. Yeah, that's 100.
Okay then. Pulled out a full fist full of 100 gold, and you realize it immediately feels dirty. It's kind of grimy, kind of like 2-year-old car door coins.
Now, never mind the state of these coins. After all, and he'll wipe it and show that it is gold underneath.
The kid
All
doesn't seem
gold
to be
spent
questioning
the
it whatsoever. He's shiny-eyed at the fistful of coins.
He'll set 100 gold into the hands of this kid, and with a very genuine smile on his face, I've got about another 900 in here. You get us where we need to go today, and you can have all of it.
And he nods his head.
Oi, Grim, do you remember what the name of the place was that the old dwarf told us to go to? Dark something.
I was asleep. I'm so sorry.
That's fine, I guess that's true.
It was a dark sigh, that's what it was.
Yeah. Sorry, I was a little off in space myself, says Naleek.
Yes, we're looking for a place called the Dark Side Tavern. And looking for a tiefling kind of like myself. But we can deal with that when we get there.
Kind of perks up and then kind of lowers again, and his like finger like on his cheek kind of thing, just like turning down the street a little slowly. We'll see you sigh, and then gestures for you to start following, and he kind of keeps to the side of the building as you guys see the lightning dying down a bit as the thunder is more or less rolling itself away. Just fairly...
Arudim in his head, that's right, you bitch. I am the storm. Hit me. Hit me!
Sneaks back to Avernus, screams out, "Give me the best you got, you slut!"
Ah, there it is. I'm going to move us now to the big ol' map. Although you all would have probably been moving a little bit more down the way. Although, you know what? You probably would not have moved very far before you would have come across this town, realistically. Especially if you weren't trying to wander too far. But yes, the kid leads you down the main road, and will start to lead you, of course, down a few smaller roads. And while it's not the safest route for you all, you know that you can handle yourselves being a group of, what, fucking 10, 11 people? 10 people, yes, 10 people. 5 and 5, oh my god. 11 if you count the kid. But I suppose you don't know what he's capable of. Unfortunately, as you guys will have been traveling through, you will eventually break through to one of the main roads, only in time to notice that it's starting to get a little bit misty. It's getting very hard to see too far in front of you all.
Cassius isn't daunted in the slightest.
Understand.
Keeping eyes on the kobold.
Yeah, the kid kind of started slowing down a bit and keeping closer to you guys as he starts to see the visibility lowered and starts to actually slug through a little bit because the terrain now counts as heavily obscured. And the kid will again very much close to the buildings, keep guiding you through, start looking around, keeping an eye on certain structures. You'll actually see that he'll look up to buildings and start counting the little pikes and spires that line a lot of the rooftops and such, which you've actually noticed to be one of the most common traits of the architecture of Sigil, despite it having the various reflections of the many planes that it touches. And you all continue further on as the kid stops every now and then to keep up with these counts. Yes, I'm trying to do fast travel without doing fast travel, essentially. You'll have broke through, and as soon as you come through, the kid will very excitedly, as the mist starts to clear up, he'll go, "Dancer's Court!" Again, you'll recognize very little difference with this street, aside from what Sigil seems to be a very random conglomerate of individuals wandering the roads. Although you see much more jovial-looking individuals. Some even look like they're some sort of festive garb, or even cosplay-like garb as they're wandering the streets. And alas, you'll have been led down the road once again. The mist will just start to clear up as it starts to get a little cloudy, but there's no sign of thunder, lightning, there's no rumbling, and there's no smell of rain as you were coming down the road. And the kid starts to really get slower as he's looking a little bit higher up on the horizon. And I would like everybody to, or at least everybody who's paying attention to where you guys are going, roll me a perception check.
Okay.
I think I might add. Do me a favor. Can you
with
click
disadvantage.
on my hunters? Can you click on my hunter's
With disadvantage?
intuition for me?
Yes, with disadvantage, yes, your hunter's intuition will apply to this Arudim, and you'll just roll 1d4, and that'll apply to both rolls.
Awesome.
Yes, but disadvantage with perception check, as it gets kind of looking up, getting very nervous and meek as it's slowing down.
Oh no. Of all the times for me to roll a nat 1 for Cassius.
And how does Arudim do?
Put in chat what I rolled.
Nice.
I rolled a 14 and a 20.
Decent.
Well, you did better. You rolled a soft 20 with a 2 on that. With disadvantage, I rolled a 7 and a 17 with his plus 13
Because of
to
reliable
perception.
talent, I treat anything lower than a 10 as a 10.
He rolled a 25.
Oh, okay then. Yeah. So yes, you got the 25. Ugh, Crantor. Oof. All right. So Cassius, Crantor, this is the Sigil sky. You got some more clouds. Oh man, there's gonna be some more rain. Hope you're getting to where you're going soon. But Arudim, Dantu. Oh, I didn't roll for nothing. Nope. Okay, yeah, Arudim, Dantu. You'll be looking up the horizon as the kid is, and you of course see the ever so slight curvature forward and on the horizon that Sigil has. However, very distinctively, you see towards the end, it's just like a very strict line of buildings, and right above the buildings, but below the clouds, is pure emptiness. And you all have seen it at one point, being here on Sigil. This is very clearly the void strip that lines the innards of Sigil. You're severely close to it, and the kid is a little unnerved looking directly into it, and at first you don't see the difference between the clouds and the emptiness, because it's quite literally nothing. It's not even like a blackness. It's just nothing there. And Dantu and Arudim, you'll immediately get why this kid is so unnerved. It just kind of rattles you to your core.
Speaks out loud. He says, "Have you gone this way before?"
And he slowly nods.
Can I do a insight on that?
Yes.
Ooh, that is sad. That is a 5 + 2. Ugh.
That's right. I think it should be higher. Oh no, Grimm's is higher. Yes, Dantu. Oof. Yeah, you're not entirely certain how honest this kid's being. This kid seems nervous about something.
Fuck it, insight.
Go for it.
I'm gonna try to find one I haven't rolled with yet because I don't want to get another nat 1. All right, your insight is decent. Well, that is an 18.
Oof,
For
yeah.
Arudim.
That kid is legitimately terrified, looking into nothingness. It's a concept beyond this child's comprehension, and this kid knows it. Okay, Crantor, insight check too. Yes. Yes, you two get the same impression. You all start to getting extremely suspicious of this child for some reason, who very much warms your hearts. Sure enough, he is just a child.
In case he saw something that we didn't, or knows something we don't. To me, Arudim is in unfamiliar territory, and he's talking to a local who suddenly got fucking scared, and he just went, "Oh shit, alarms, what's going on?"
Yeah, and Dante's traveled with enough touts to be betrayed, to not want to be betrayed again, so he's always constantly vigilant of his touts.
Not much I can understand, but the kid technically has never stopped. He was just moving much slower as you guys were moving forward. And leads you forward a few more buildings. It cuts in between a couple and points towards this very wide, single-floored building that has several windows lining on it. And it kind of comes to an angular point at the top. You can see through the windows that it's lit by fireplace inside. I also want to clarify, now that you've gotten close enough to it, just as you're coming up on the building, you guys see almost like in a straight line various height buildings with no windows on them. Roughly 150, 200 feet to your right from the Dark Side Tavern. Oof. And
Well, that seems like an awful design flaw. How are they supposed to see this beautiful silhouette?
Nala will pop
Your
up.
sarcasm is as witty as ever.
Someone doesn't
Well,
like
of
the
course.
sun.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't like looking at nothingness. So maybe some windows bordering that wouldn't be a good
It might
idea.
just prevent insanity.
Yeah.
Oh, but Arudim, stop me if you've heard this one. Being sane, being so boringly, predictably sane, it's the same thing day in and day out, but from what I've heard, insanity, well, imagine the possibilities.
There are many people that I have gotten the upper hand when they've done that monologue. Speaking of monologues, good job, kid.
Well, I can't go inside. Not old enough. Have a good
Well, of
day.
course, we didn't expect you to. You're fine, kid. Cassius, give him the rest of the gold.
And again, we'll rub off as much of the soot off the bag because the kid did a good job. And we'll toss
Artem
him
doesn't need to
1,000
drink. He just takes his water pouch and he pours it on the gold.
The kid's like, as you're pouring out the drinking water, and he like literally reaches up and tips it up to it so it's not pouring again. So, can I do it?
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead and roll
Just
another
hands him the
insight.
water skin.
Go ahead and roll another insight check if you'd like.
I need to.
Cassius is gonna roll insight
I
on
want to
this.
clean the shinies.
Okay,
I'm gonna roll it here.
Okay. Arudim will be the green die. I'm gonna roll both at once. Cassius got a 16. And Arudim, ever the master of skills, got a 6, which would be a 10 with his reliable talent, which would be an 18.
Alrighty. And both of you will get... This kid just, actually wants the drinking water. It's not a matter of cleaning the coins, doesn't really care about the coins being dirty, just wanted some drinking water, and didn't want to outright say it.
Cassius will he's not gonna call attention to it. Cassius is gonna say, hey Arudim, just let him have it. It'll be alright.
Artem's just gonna pat you on the shoulder and say, "Do me a favor, could you all go in without me? I'm gonna scope the outside if that's all right."
Well, that Binkeep told us about only 2 of us should go in there.
Good point. Give me a sec. He's gonna take the kid aside. He's gonna give him the water skin. I'm gonna give him all of my rations.
Okay.
I feel bad. This kid really needs some assistance.
Above game, this kid is literally just a kobold version of Cassius.
Aww.
He's an urchin. He's a street rat.
It hits Arudim a little too close to home, too. He is going to give this kid 8 platinum. I'm sure you already know the math for this, but one of these is 10 of these, and he holds up gold.
He's looking down and looks up, catches himself, looks up at you, nods. Yeah.
Gives him 8 platinum, gives him the water skin, and gives him the 4 rations. And Artem's gonna look at him and he's gonna say, "No matter what anyone tells you, no matter how people look down at you or hurt you, you have to stand up again. You have to."
He nods, and he looks a little touched by your words as he's kind of pondering them a bit. Should I get revenge? And he kind of starts pouting again.
Artem smiles. "What happened? Why don't you tell me? And I can help with that."
Okay, we're gonna cut back to this in just a bit, as I imagine the rest of the group is kind of pondering who's gonna go in.
To be perfectly honest,
I mean, it only seems obvious.
this is a house of ill repute, as it were. Grim, I think you, me, and they did say 2, but let's face it, Crantor's big enough, and he doesn't say a whole lot. Between the 2 of you, you quite make one full person. Crantor, sound good to you?
I mean, I find my presence is enough of a statement on its own, usually. So,
And that's exactly why I want you with me.
just nods.
Dear.
Probably too much of a social light anyway.
I think the three of us should go in.
Crantor will follow your lead.
Yep, so will Grim. We'll hop off Silva and start walking with you guys.
It's because this isn't going to end just like it did in Celestia. No, not at all.
No, couldn't possibly.
So sure enough, there's normal-sized double doors. Cassius walks right on in. Grim scoots in between the doors, and Crantor pushes open both doors and gets one arm in, and then tucks the head in, just barely missing the horns, and then like really lowers that other shoulder to try and sneak it in, and then squeezes everything else. As once again, the door frame cracks. And immediately, this very quiet, dimly lit fireplace, lounge-like area full of mostly tieflings, a few humans, various minor devils, they're just kind of all hanging out, very much quiet. A lot of them look to be reading or enjoying some tea. Almost no one is talking, and they're all looking at you.
Apologize, my friend here, he's a little bit bigger than the most of us that come through here. I'll gladly pay for the damages. I apologize for disturbing anybody's peace.
You see the person sitting at the counter who's to your left just as you walk in. It is vertical, lining away from you guys. The person behind the counter, which is very stout tiefling. He's got a very tight ponytail, bundled up back. He's got a dirty apron on. He's like, are you fucking serious?
Crantor does his best to just look intimidating and dumb.
Look, we didn't mean to cause any damage or alert anybody.
Who's saying that? And he peers over the counter and looks down. Oh, wait, what the fuck? And he takes a double look, take at you really quick, Grim, and he's okay. Oh, okay.
Look, we just came in to check out the place. We didn't mean to cause any damages. If there's any problems, I will gladly pay for everything that happened. Won't happen again to anything else, hopefully. He kind of looks up at Crantor when he said hopefully.
Crantor just looks defiant. Doesn't even look at him, scoping the crowd.
Just keep it down.
Yeah. Grim's gonna walk up to the person that got upset and set down 100 platinum. If you need any more, please just let me know.
He's looking at it and he's like, ugh. And it's just like, I try to think about it. In real life, from a business owner's perspective, you just came up and damaged their property and then legitimately slapped $100,000 in front of them. Like, how did you react as the business owner?
$100,000, man.
I know, and I try to think about my boss. Like, if you were to damage his property and then slap that kind of money in front of him afterwards, I try to think about it because he's about his money, but at the same time, he's about his business.
How important is that door to this guy?
Yeah, no, apparently it's not 100 platinum.
Is there such a thing as suing somebody?
In Sigil? Yeah.
Look, we're not on Celestia, and we don't want to go back to the court.
No, not again,
Cassius,
please.
Cassius will walk up. And is the person behind the counter also a tiefling?
Yes. Very short, stout. They're almost dwarf-like to really fit the trope.
And Cassius very quietly, again, we apologize. I have a friend outside who happens to be a druid. He could probably repair that without even so much as a thought. We've had to do it before. I do apologize. Keep the money, and you can use it to make your business, and we can fix the door on our way out. We shan't be causing any more of a disturbance if it can so be helped.
Do you know how bad this makes me look? On all the barrier I haven't let in here, now I'm supposed to let your friend whatever the hell that is? Seriously, what are you?
He says that to Crantor?
Yeah.
I am a Gallataur from the Mythos Plains.
Never heard of it.
You'll give me respect.
Just like, never heard of it, just cut you right off. As he turns back to Cassius. Look, alright. You plot a lot of money on me, okay? But if you're disturbing any of my tenants, if any of them seem bothered by any of you, done. Get out of here. I'm gonna get... damn it, I can't really get the city guard out here, but I'm gonna do something about it.
My adopted mother, for lack of a better term, also runs a tavern. I completely understand. Again, very quietly.
Everybody's mother runs a tavern in Sigil, bud.
And so
hey, you gone, Barmy? And he kind of just like shrugs you off. He's been getting very indignant with you. Shrugs you off and kind of just goes to the back where you can see there's like a lot of wine lining shelves on like the short hallway that leads him to the back area.
Now, let's not use that one. I would like to look to see if I could find a tiefling that is kind of tall, awkward looking, and with horns.
Look not, friend. because you turn around from the counter in this building, which, albeit is fairly sizable, looks a little smaller on the inside than it does on the outside. You turn around, facing away from the counter, just to your direct left is the double door entrance, the damaged one. And lining the wall is roughly about 8 tables, large size, with booths, very comfortable looking seats, very refined wood. Some of it even seems to be flecked with certain colors of stone. It's roughly the 8 tables line the 3/4 of the room, I should say. And then there is about 2 steps of stairs leading downward into the center of the room where there are 4 tables. Only one of them is occupied with one person. He's a very tall, gray tiefling with red horns. Very droopy look on his face. Looks kind of tired, but at the same time, just like content.
Okay. What is he doing specifically?
He's kind of sipping a cup of coffee. It looks like it's very much hot, as opposed to a lot of individuals around him are drinking on some wine or something of the sort. He seems to be sipping some coffee. He's got a little book in front of him. It doesn't seem to be too big, so you can't imagine it's too indulgent. But he's just kind of casually flipping through the pages. Again, content, but very tired looking.
What kind of roll would it take for me to see how often he's flipping through those pages?
Ooh.
Is he doing it at a rapid pace, or is he going very slowly? Is he taking his time? Is he flipping too fast for him to be able to actually read it? Trying to
roll me an insight check.
Can do, because I want to pay attention to his body language. I want to get a grasp for this guy's potential intellect. That is a 21 insight.
Not doing this very well. You can tell this individual is trying to pretend like he doesn't notice you all, which is kind of hard to do considering everything y'all just did. But all the same, he is sitting there he's kind of passing through the pages. It's slightly inconsistent how he's flipping through those pages, it seems. He probably is reading it, but he might be skimming through it just for the sake of like convincing himself that he's doing what he's doing. But you could tell you may have almost caught him in the act. That's why he's doing it a little sloppily. That's a 13.
Sorry, buddy. Does he have his back to us?
No, he's facing your direction.
Okay.
Which doesn't help his case.
Cassius will cast Minor Illusion on his book and just kind of create an image of words floating in front. Mind if I join you? Go ahead and you don't say anything, just raise your hand, if it's okay.
He raises his mug like a long distance cheers and takes a sip of it without looking in your direction.
Hey Grim, Crantor, keep your ears open, I'll be right back, lads. Cassius will walk over, and he'll just sit down and just rest his elbows at the very edge of the table. Well, there's 2 ways we can do this.
Hey there.
Cass will swap to Infernal. I'm assuming you can understand me.
Oh, in Infernal. Yeah, that makes sense, but more people here speak Infernal than Common.
It's not them, well...
Do you know Can't? Thieves Can't?
I have a friend who does, unfortunately, no. I don't know. You would think I would have learned. Beside the point, I heard that you're a man that knows how to find certain people.
Yeah, I know a few things.
I'm looking for somebody who knows everything.
Yeah. The all-knowing, yeah.
Yes.
You're looking for where he is, right?
A few friends of mine have some very important questions that need to be answered. Fortunately, mine were all answered this morning.
You almost kind of winced at the word important.
Well, they're important to me. After all, making your friends happy is that not what makes life worth living?
I guess, I don't know. I don't really got friends like that, but yeah, I guess. Yeah, I know where they are, but I need the payment. The payment to tell you. The payment to tell you where he's at.
Well, I obviously thought it wouldn't come free.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm sorry. I just didn't see it. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's pretty cheap. It's just gonna be just 50 gold, just 50 gold. Because he did say it was important, and like I don't want to stop you from your business, you know. Or you
50 gold.
You're clearly not cagers, so you know.
Yeah. You see, I'm all fresh out of gold at the minute. Cassius reaches into his pocket, pulls out a couple
silver
platinum.
Oh, that's
What
not
about
silver.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, don't try to fleece me. The last person who did, well, the Davises are scraping pieces of his body 2 days later.
Oh, okay. I guess your point. Don't worry, buddy. I'm not a fighter. I just know
Good.
stuff. I listen. You know, I just hang out and listen. I hear stuff. You know.
So, the big guy over there, he has this knack for knowing how to get back to anywhere he's been. And the little guy over there, he's got away with words that even I am jealous about. I hope your information's good. I'd hate to have to come back. You know, long trip and all. After all, it is important. But if your information's good, he'll set 5 platinum down on the table. I will pay your asking price in full. And he'll hold up a 6th one between his finger. And you might want to get yourself a different book because you're awfully conspicuous with that one, mate. Now,
Yeah.
where do I find him?
Your big friend made me a little nervous. But, him, yeah, 1 second. And he kind of flips through the book a few more pages, and then you see he sticks his finger to a word, then peels it up, and there's like a copy of paper just framing that one word. And then he does that a few more times, several times with each finger, and then flips to the back of the page, sticks them down in random places, and then tears the page out, and then hands it off to you. And it reads, "The All-Knowing resides in a building alongside the border of the Void in the Ladies' Ward, directly spireward from the Temple of Zeus."
Okay, let me type that.
Yes, I can drop it here in the thing. I got you.
Please do. And, Kobold, I'm putting that in your character sheet as well. Thanks, friend.
Yeah, sure. You need to know anything else? You've been really nice. So like, maybe I can just like tell you something for free.
Let's take a rain check on that one. Besides, it's not often that our kind runs into each other after all.
Oh well, you should go down to the sandstorm. The sandstorm. the sandstone district in the clerk's ward. It's a community of Tiefling.
Really?
Oh
I'll
yeah.
have to keep that in mind.
Real friendly
Consider-
to our kind.
You know what? For that, let's consider that rain check paid. It's always good to know that there's a community of us hanging around.
Oh,
Appreciate that. I'll
absolutely.
keep you in mind if I need your services ever again.
A sure thing. You didn't tell me your name. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just so I know you. I'm
Friends call me Cass.
Cass. Nice to meet you, Cass. Formally, and he kind of like very nervously stretches out his hand for a handshake. And be like, the
And-
name's Genga. Nice to formally meet you, Cass.
And to you as well. Now, brush up on that reading. You need to look a little less inconspicuous. I could spot you from a mile away.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Cass will tip of his head, will stand up, walk back over to his friends. We got the information we needed. Shall we be on our way?
Yep.
Crantor will just nod and grunt.
And once again, squeeze out. It's cracking the frame.
Cass will walk out. Hey, Naleek, I kinda need a favor of you.
Yeah.
Well, he'll point to the door. He did it again. You think you can mend that for me?
Tried to convince the guy we'd pay him some, platinum just so he could get it fixed, but he made a big old hoopla about it.
Well, if that's the case, if he took your money, it's his problem. Especially if-
just if you can, please fix it. We kind of already told him that you would.
To be fair, I told him that I had a druid friend who could.
But I
True.
can't.
I did not
Mending
say-
only works so much. The frame is literally cracked open and stuff. I'd have to be here all day.
Like you said, he got the platinum. He should be fine. We're never gonna be here ever again.
Besides, don't the Davis fix these things anyway?
You know what? Let's get out of here before they show up.
That's fair. Anyway,
hope this
Naleek.
doesn't-
He'll hand Naleek the sheet of paper with the info on it. That is where we're headed.
Okay, how does this make sense? He's looking at the page and his eyes widen to the last word of it, and he mouths the name to you. I don't get it. How is this okay? How is this okay? And he starts looking around at the walls. And then he starts seeing the debris floating over towards the building as they're going to start repairing it. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And Naleek just kind of starts stepping back. And we'll actually rewind a little time because he'll actually be stepping back towards where Arudim will have been chatting with the kid. Asking the kid his story. And he essentially goes, my mom's from the plane Vice, and she fell through a hole and landed here. And one day she meet my dad. They have me and my brothers, but we had to go through the hive, and a lot of them didn't make it through safe. I haven't seen any of them. It's been, I think, almost a year now.
Arudim's still at like eye level with him. He's going to hand him the infernal dagger.
He has a hard time holding it up. This is.
Right now, you are very young, and when I was around your age, I was being beaten to a bloody pulp by my father to be trained as a warrior for my clan, to be trained as better than him. For you, you need to learn to grow up stronger than you need to be to take revenge. When I was young, I was foolish, and I still am on occasion, and I run into situations where I have no idea what's ahead or even a plan. I offer you this advice from somebody who's had a rough childhood to another, for somebody who wants to have revenge, for someone who struggles and is probably going to struggle for a long time. Know thy enemy. Know them better than yourself. When the moment comes, you strike with as much ferocity as a dragon could even dream of. Patience, strategy, and time are your three greatest assets.
Kid seems to just be entranced with you, taking in everything you say, no matter how little he understands it, almost like he's just like memorizing your speech so it can play over in his head as he grows up. Okay. One day, the hive will be safe. I'll make it be.
And that is exactly the kind of dream that you can make a reality as long as you prepare.
And he holds up his hand like really high up, a high five, but like reach high kind of thing.
Arudim plays along.
Thank you, mister.
Hopefully I'll see you again someday. It would be nice to check up on you and see how you're doing. Right now I gotta get back to my companions over there, and we have some business to take care of, but I wish you the best of luck.
Do you live here in the cage?
In the cage? No. I come from a faraway place. Kind of like a... Have you seen grasslands before?
No.
Arudim's gonna lean down, he's gonna sketch out the fields that he grew up in. The dry dirt that he would often spew his own blood in.
Is he really drawing this very detailed? I'm not
He's
sure if
gonna...
he's there. Because I remember you made the joke that he did a bad drawing of Koso, but I wasn't sure if it was intentionally bad or if it was just for
Oh,
gag.
it was intentionally bad for Kozel.
Okay.
For this, he's gonna do detail because he feels a connection with this kid and he's trying to help.
But yeah, while you're drawing this out, cute. This is your world?
Yes.
What's it called?
This is Rieba.
Okay. When I'm big and strong, I'ma find you.
That would be nice. He's going to tear off a piece of paper from his little journal, and he's going to draw the symbol of the storm's eye. For context, it looks like an eye with kind of like the eye of a hurricane inside of it as the pupil.
I like it. I got an idea.
And he gives it to him. That is the symbol of my tribe, and hopefully, by the time you're ready to visit, it will be flourishing.
Yeah. And he's well, take care, mister. I gotta go find somewhere to sleep.
Good luck, kid.
And he kind of has an excited nod, and he looks up at the sky, seeing like the clouds again. You can almost tell he's trying to gauge the weather. And then he just starts giving a jog down the road, down around the corner, and's out of sight. Just as now when he comes by, nope, I don't want to be anywhere near those things. And now she's coming. See, why'd you even let them write this down, Cassius? Shouting at you.
Because he didn't want to say it out loud. As I've said before, information is worth more than its weight in gold.
But it's got a name there, and then the things.
He's pointing at the Davis, and they're now kind of like bringing pieces over to reconstruct the building. They're taking off the door and rehinging a new one.
Probably why he didn't say it out loud. We've
Sure
been told that we can't say it, but that doesn't mean that it can't be written.
But there's a place here called that?
It sure is.
Apparently.
Named after gods.
So then what's the big taboo? Are we misunderstood?
It could just be a regional thing, too.
I mean, we could be just getting gaslighted and all this hocus pocus about this, so-called person.
As in response to the, are we just misunderstood? Now it's gonna go, oh boy, howdy, are ya?
Arudim looks on.
Oi there, brother. How did things go?
Cute kid.
Yeah, reminds me a lot of myself growing up.
Same.
By the way, we got the information we needed. Now we just gotta find out who has the balls to get us there.
Well, I'm glad it's not the kid. He,
'Cause,
poor kid.
he
He needs he needs a rest.
Especially if he didn't like that, well, we're about to look at it again.
Fun.
Now, let's see if we can't, Hey, Crantor, do you remember the way back?
Crantor sweats.
Throw the meta dice at me if you believe it, but doesn't he have that ability?
Bantu knows the way back.
Crantor does it in the wilderness. This is sick.
That's what I was
that-
gonna go look at really quick.
That'd be your territory, Cassius.
That's fair.
And to be fair, yeah, you do have after the mist died down, you really have an idea. At the very least, you remember clearly how to get back to Dancer's Court. But do know that it's lining the border of the city, essentially. I mean, granted, you don't know which side of the void it's bordering, but it's bordering it.
Well, at the very least, let's go take a look. See if we can find somebody. And, Cassius will begin leading the way to, back. Let me grab my little pointer here. No snapping, thank you. You know, around this way, on up to that crossroads that we came to.
You make your way up to it, and you start to notice it getting a little smoggy, and it's actually the air is starting to kind of get a little dirty. It's actually getting very
is it
hard
brown
to
rain
breathe.
again?
No, it's not. But there is quite a smog to the city. It's making it really hard to see. It's kind of like the mist, but it is a lot dirtier looking. And sure enough,
Grandma, do you miss me again?
I'd like everybody to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I'm good at these.
I'm okay at these. Oh no, I'm damn good at these.
That is the appropriate response. All right,
How's a
rolling.
27 do ya?
God damn, I'm gonna have to work hard to beat that.
Damn, you almost beat it.
I swear to God, I'll choke you at me.
Answer: Avenger of Mythos, Dantu Tengo. Cassius area no taping.
And for Arudim.
Oh my god.
Oh, Arudim, I'm so sorry.
He's distracted by emotions.
This is very true.
Oh my gosh, all of the good saves. Oh, Arudim. Okay, so Arudim and Selva are really having a hard time. Oh, wait, Tuscan. So Tuscan, Selva, and Arudim, you all are kind of choking up on the airs. It's very hard to breathe. Oh, wait, Arudim doesn't need to breathe. Okay, Arudim didn't even need to make the save anyways. Okay, so Arudim, you're kind of like, hey guys, and then you see Selva and Tuscan kind of like, They both have 1 level of exhaustion now, as the air is very smoggy and hard to see through. You see a lot of the very few people that you can see walking through the streets, they have some sort of cloth on their face, or in a few cases, old-fashioned gas masks. Like literally like 1930s gas masks.
Where the fuck did they come from?
Yep, exactly. You're like, wait, what the fuck is that?
Arudim wants to fuck up the 30s.
Wow, it was pretty gnarly out here. Should we try and find someplace to chill for a little bit?
You want me to do the wind thing? Maybe they can only do it for about 10 minutes, but...
And you see Nala, like, an idea just clicked in her head, and she pursed her lips looking up around at everybody, and then starts looking up to the sky. You guys think I can control this weather?
Don't ever doubt your skills, ever, Nala.
But,
Bet.
I mean, someone else directly
control
is
the
making
weather?
this weather. Yes! Oh, yeah, well, yeah,
Okay.
I can.
Yeah. If
never seen
anybody
that.
can do it, it's gonna be you.
Yeah, no, that's easy.
I just met you. I don't know what you can
Yeah,
do.
exactly. That was she. And she's like, "Oh wait, my bad." You could tell she responded to you like she knew you.
Right.
But yes. Anyways, you know, someone or something else directly controls this weather, so like,
Who's to say I wouldn't be stepping on some toes? Some painful toes?
I mean, no one would want to step on a lady's toes after all.
Yeah.
Crantor backs up.
They're speaking metaphorically. Tuscan says to you, Crantor, you're not actually stepping on anyone's toes.
He looks down to make sure.
Oh, don't worry, Tuscan. Nothing gets by Crantor. He would catch it if it tried.
Badly.
You're welcome for that.
You guys will kind of just like crowd yourselves under some sort of an awning off of a random building. Can't quite discern. You just wait for some of this smog to clear itself a little bit, and sure enough, Nala is using the cantrip gust to kind of try and just like clear some of the air away from you guys a little bit, where you guys hang out, waiting your spot.
I mean, I can make a puff of wind. I'm helping.
So what is the plan from here on out? Do we have what we need? Can we go to Arkori?
Yes, we need to find a tout to get us to the ladies' ward. Specifically to a certain location within the ladies' ward.
Right. I wish I knew of a good place to go. Perhaps we should have asked at the tavern that we were just at, if there was any touts there.
Yeah.
I don't think they much liked our company at that place.
I had a lovely time there. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, to be fair, I'm not really trying to go back myself, but...
I mean, Cassius will get this wry grin on his face. What? You don't like a building full of my people? That's awfully
don't
inconsiderate
play
of you.
this game. Oh my gosh, Cass. You know what? Okay. Nala, can you lead the way with the gun? No. But block yourself.
Block yourself.
And he's like, Nala, he's trying to find words to say, and he's just stiffens his upper lip and just starts stomping out to the street, almost immediately out of visibility.
Naleek, get your ass back here now.
And then immediately back into visibility. I can't see shit.
Alright.
Wait, hold up. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm gonna feel so dumb if he actually has the cantrip himself.
Are there any people out on the road right now?
There's a
can
few
see.
people, but you can barely see them, really.
Cassius will pull his sleeve over his hand, put it over his mouth, find the nearest person, and run over to him.
Wait, you said to, Lucy?
No. Well, Cass will take Lucy and hand her over to Naleek. And we'll take his sleeve, put it over his face, and we'll run out to the nearest person.
Yeah, you go out, you're not too far before you're coming up on a water genasi and a gnome. Just walking in, they kind of just stop and look over to you, look back to themselves. Can we help ya?
Yeah, we was looking for a tout. You thinking, where's the nearest place to get one? That's not back that way.
Wait. Oh, yeah, I see why you wouldn't want in that direction. Oh, sheesh. Tell you're a fresh gutter. The thing is, you're here in the market ward. We're not either one of them, but you could go down that way, and he points off this direction. Rather, for a further distance, this direction. Wander off in that way, just start asking random people. You'll come across one. Just use your judgment. Surely you've been ripped off once or twice here, right?
Here?
Yeah.
No. We tried to get mugged, and, well, between the splatters and the piles of ashes, that didn't end very well for them. We can handle ourselves when it comes to that. I do appreciate the kindness, by the way.
Who's we? Oh. And they look over and see the entire group breaking through the fog. Wait, never mind.
The small army of heavily armed people.
Just... Oh shit, this devil's got a legion. Oh god.
It would take somebody incredibly stupid to mug us. And believe me, we've seen somebody that incredibly stupid. Well, one of them led us here. He didn't want to, but he didn't have a choice.
Alright, big shot. You made your point. Oh my god. Sheesh.
At this point, Cass is just kind of ranting as he's walking back to the group. I do feel bad about the crater I left there.
Yes, guy might have been a bit balmy. You're just hearing as they're walking away.
Everybody says that. What do you think, Grandma? Just talking to the air. Totally playing
I love it! Everyone says I sound crazy. Isn't that right, Grandma? Silence.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, who's up for a walk?
I take it those guys told you where the touts are, but they ain't touts. Huh.
Yeah, you nailed it right on the head on that one.
Well, looks like we're going for a little more walking then.
If you see anybody, A, looking for money, and B, looks like they know their way around, and not incredibly stupid, speak up.
My eye open.
You see Selva thinking, Grim, what was the place that we met Dormayer in?
You asking what ward it was in?
No, the location, the inn that we met him in. I'm trying to remember, was it the Black Wind or something along those lines? I don't personally remember, but that could be a source of a tout. We were told there was 2 in there, and one of them was Dormayer.
Sure, I honestly should have hired him for longer. I wouldn't know where to tell you what it's called, but I mean, if Cassius gained some information of where we could find some closest to us, we might as well go over that way.
Okay, so then, yep. All of a sudden, you just hear, just clap. You hear a big old thunderclap echo in the middle of the street. Hey! Can't see nobody on the street, but surely one of you's a tout. There's like 10 of us. Walk us to the ladies' ward. Let's see how that goes. And she says that to everybody. Tuska's just kind of glaring at Nala. Are you serious?
The yelling out loud strategy, that seems to work quite wonders.
It's noisy as hell out here. And quite frankly, like you said, gotta be incredibly stupid to try something. And sure enough, see somebody walk. Somebody looking for a tout? Yeah, over here.
Come to the sound of the music, he pulls out his lute and starts. Boop, 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 boop.
Yep, and oh, that's perfect. Grim, you recognize a creature you're all too familiar with. A satyr.
Oh.
See this little bipedal, goat-legged person with some hand warmers he's going around. Oh, that's a fancy tune you're playing there.
Yeah.
Bet I can play it better.
Oh,
Tell you what, how
okay,
about this? Let's have a tune-off. I win, you gotta pay me $200 for your trip. You win, it's free.
If it's a bard off you want, it's a bard off you'll get.
Alrighty, buddy. Come on. That's awesome. He starts reaching into his pocket, and then deeper into his pocket. And you and Cassius, Crantor, Arudim, you're getting some Deus shades as he's reaching deep into his back pocket, and then finally pulls out a lute. I have no idea how it fit into this back pocket, but it did. You want me to lead the tune? You know, I'll lead the tune. I issue the challenge. I'll lead the tune. And starts going wild on the lute with a 24. You guys start to hear a little gathering of a crowd. Some people are starting to bundle around you all. And these individuals strumming up and down his lute. Quite a fancy tune. You recognize this very much similar to the music you'd hear in the Feywilds when you do something along these lines.
I'll say this, he starts pulling out some lovely little Honolulu tune. Dun, 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 dun. Some very peaceful Hawaii sounding music.
Wow, you got quite some fingers on you, kid. I wasn't expecting to see somebody so small playing so well.
Guess I just don't have it as good as you, though, huh? I'll get there one day, though. Just you wait. The goal is to be the greatest bard of all time, so I'm always down for a challenge to see if I can get myself better.
Hey, tell you what, we make it through this trip just fine. I'll show you a little trick that I know you don't know.
I mind a little trick up my sleeve.
Yeah, for one, don't play a harp against a lute. A lute will beat you every time.
It's okay.
At least with 2 people's skills compared. And quite frankly, I think you're up there with me, kid. You're up there with me. You see he's trying to puff you up.
Yeah, Grim's kind of looking down, a little sunken in that he didn't win that.
So I was like, I don't understand. How did you quantify how good one performance was in comparison to the other?
You just feel the music, so it's different. It's different for bards, as he says sadly.
Wait, so you don't feel like you won?
No, I don't. I feel like I lost.
Who are you and what have you done with Grim?
I don't know, but I wish you'd come back as soon as possible. Anyway, let's, I lost. How much do I owe you?
It's gonna be 200 gold for the trip. Where are we going?
I'll spot half of that. How's platinum do you?
I'll take platinum.
Well, Grim gives the platinum equivalent to 100.
Platinum's pretty... Oh, okay, that's gonna be 10 platinum from each of us. Fucking rich bastards. So even Dante, who doesn't have that much money, is just like, yeah, I got the coin. Grim definitely got the coin.
What can I say? It's lighter than carrying around its own worth in gold.
Alright, now stick close to me. This place is gonna get really crowded once the smog clears up. And let's go. And he'll start leading you down the road in the direction that you were pointed out from the previous 2 individuals, just for consistency's sake, Cassius. And as you led down Dancer's Court, smog starts to clear up a bit. That is where we'll end the session. I do apologize for this one. I do feel like the session dragged a bit, but I think it was still fun.
It was.
Definitely was a good session, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Appreciate you. I think this has been the setup. You guys are finally on the way to the place. That was my thought process. I'm like, oh no, if you guys go into the market ward looking for this imp, this could easily become another 3 sessions finding this fucker. I'm like, let's just give him a little side thing. And sure enough, you guys were hanging out in the lounge. Because you guys shooed away the innkeep early on when he was right there at the door, so he didn't get to mentioning any of the stuff about his friend or anything. So I was like, well, I guess that's not coming up now. But then when you guys all plopped into the lounge, I'm like, oh, there's still a chance.
I mean, mind you, I wouldn't have minded being in the market because, Crantor wants to shop.
I know, but we kind of do have urgent things.
I know.
And the campaign's kind of the campaign.
I know.
I'm angry IRL that Nala spoke up and got it out for us because Dante was 1 second away just walking up to people and intimidating them to bring us to where we needed to go.
Yes. God.
Take us
love Dante.
here.
You and I did a thing and we didn't get exiled for it.
Guys,
I know. It's a new record.
I have a proposition for a session name.
Oh.
Mean Muggin.
That's good. That's solid. I love.
I feel like it's just too good.
It's solid.
Thank you. I'm not good with names, so I was totally ready for that to get shot down and would have been fine with it. But if that's
Listen, you think you're as bad at names as I think I am with voices, alright?
Yeah, but you're better with voices than I am names. So that doesn't hold up.
Alright, I only know how to do one other voice besides my own. Hey, Peter. That's who it is.
That's really what it is. It's his Joan Swanson impression is Grimwold's voice, and I love it. Because it doesn't exactly sound like Joe Swanson, so in turn, after a while, it just resonates as Grimwold's voice. Like, there's no... Like, I don't think of it as an impression anymore, I just think of it as Grim's voice. So when I hear him do it, like, elsewhere, I'm like, aha, Grim. Did it on the Smash stream a few weeks ago, and I said it. I'm like, oh wait, no one else gets that.
Don't you love that? Inside jokes that no one else gets. Exclusionary humor is the best.
Yeah, it made me realize that I definitely need to make, like, a full video for the lore pilgrimage and put it out there. What happened in the lore pilgrimage up until the crossover point? Just to, like...
Right.
Just to fill in some blanks, make some sense out of a lot of things. I have 69 sessions worth of content to sum up. It would be quite the video.
Nice.
But with that being said, I think we'll sign off. So, for all you watching, thank you so much. Do like and subscribe and watch the space because there will be some news regarding D&D very soon. Until then, catch y'all next time. Bye.